So what happens when you mix cryptocurrency, a potential second Trump presidency, and the entire future of global money? Well, that's what we're diving into today. It's a huge story about power, about technology, and really about who gets to write the new rules for our financial world.
But look, before we even touch the politics, you've got to understand the bigger picture here. This isn't just some political drama. It's all happening right in the middle of this massive tech revolution that is fundamentally changing how every single one of us uses money, every single day.
And when I say massive, I mean it. The stakes here are just enormous. A report from Boston Consulting Group projects that the global payments revenue pool, basically the whole pie, is going to hit $2.4 trillion by 2029. That's just a mind-boggling number.
And a huge piece of this new financial puzzle? Stablecoins. I mean, their market cap was estimated to hit $270 billion by August of 2025. They are absolutely becoming a major, major force in global finance.
And this change isn't happening slowly. It's happening at lightning speed. Real-time account-to-account payments, up 40% year on year. Think about that for a second. The very plumbing of our financial system is being ripped out and rebuilt right in front of us.
All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at this financial world in flux. Then, we'll zoom in on America's pro-crypto pivot. After that, we'll cover how digital assets were unleashed, the conflicts that popped up, and finally, what this all means for the dollar's future. Let's get into it.
Okay, first up, a financial world in flux. This is all about the big picture, right? The global trends that are setting the stage for everything else we're going to talk about. So that BCG report points to a few massive forces that are shaking things up. You've got the explosion of stablecoins and digital assets for sure, but you've also got the incredible growth of real-time payment networks. Think India's UPI. And get this, even AI agents that can go out and shop for us. But all of this highlights a really key tension, this global push for sovereignty in payments. Countries all over the world are building their own systems so they don't have to rely on the US financial system anymore. Okay, so with all that happening on the world stage, let's zoom in and see how it led to a really specific political shift right here in the United States. We're calling it America's pro-crypto pivot.
I mean, talk about a 180-degree turn. In 2021, you've got Donald Trump on Fox Business saying Bitcoin, and I quote, seems like a scam. Then you fast forward to 2025, and the messaging from the White House is that the US will be the crypto capital of the planet. So, what on earth happened in between?
Well, you can probably guess. A whole lot of money and influence. According to Fox Business, the crypto industry dropped at least $238 million during the 2024 election. That made them the single largest corporate donor. Think about that. They outspent even the giants like oil and gas and big pharma.
So that massive political spending didn't just stay on paper. It led to some very real, very concrete actions. Let's break down the key policy and regulatory changes that were designed to, well, unleash digital assets in the US.
And they did not waste any time. It was like a rapid-fire series of events. In early 2025, boom, the SEC creates a new task force with a totally different approach. Boom, those huge lawsuits against companies like Coinbase, Kraken, and Ripple, they were either dropped or settled. And then boom, the Department of Justice's National Crypto Enforcement Team just gone, disbanded. Then came what many saw as the main event, a landmark executive order. In March 2025, the administration created a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And as Bloomberg pointed out, this was a huge deal. The whole point was to treat Bitcoin like a national asset, putting it right up there with the country's gold or oil reserves.
Now, as you can probably imagine, this tidal wave of deregulation and crypto promotion didn't go unnoticed. It raised a lot of alarms, and that brings us right to the heart of the controversy. Some pretty serious allegations of self-dealing and personal enrichment.
And this is where the story gets really personal. In January 2025, a meme coin called the Trump coin was launched. And for a little while, an Axios estimate suggested that this one single crypto coin made up a jaw-dropping 89% of Donald Trump's entire net worth. Just let that sink in for a moment.
Well, connections like that obviously prompted an investigation. By November 2025, Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee put out a report with a pretty blunt title, Trump, Crypto, and a New Age of Corruption. The main takeaway? They allege that the administration's crypto-friendly policies were designed to directly benefit Trump and his family. And critics did not hold back. Senator Elizabeth Warren, for one, summed up the concern pretty clearly. She accused Trump of, quote, enriching himself and his family through their crypto businesses while his administration guts oversight of the market. That quote really gets to the heart of the whole controversy.
Okay, so let's zoom back out. We've gone from the big global picture down to these really specific and very controversial U.S. policies. So how does this all connect back to that global financial competition we talked about at the beginning? It's all about the dollar's digital future.
Remember that global tug of war we mentioned? This really lays it out. You've got two completely different forces pulling in opposite directions. On one side, you have countries all over the world building their own payment systems. They want sovereignty. They want to rely less on U.S. financial rails. But on the other side, you've got this explosion of U.S. dollar-backed stablecoins, which is basically creating a new form of dollarization. It's a massive counterweight that's reinforcing the dollar's role as the king of currencies.
And this is what those two visions look like in the real world. You've got the local, sovereign payment systems on one side, think simple QR code payments, and on the other, you have this vision of a global, high-tech digital dollar system powered by stablecoins and advanced tech available to anyone, anywhere.
And this is where you can really see how a domestic policy move becomes a major tool of foreign policy. The Genius Act, for example, which was a huge piece of crypto legislation signed in July 2025, wasn't just seen as simple regulation. That BCG report described it as a geopolitical tool, plain and simple, one designed to make sure the US dollar stays on top in this new digital age.
And that leaves us with the one central question that hangs over everything. What we're seeing here is a historic collision between blindingly fast technology and raw, unfiltered political power. As these two forces completely reshape what money even is, the biggest question we all have to ask is who gets to write the new rules?